I'm grateful to have 3 minutes to express my views on perhaps the most important issue in human history. I'm also cognizant of the fact that although tonight some citizens will have a brief voice, every day in Parliament, handsomely paid lobbyists for the fossil fuel industry have frequent, lengthy, and ongoing relationships with our elected officials. These lobbyists sit on, speak to, and lobby the NEB for this industry also. Tonight, I'd like to address my comments to our Prime Minister. Mr. Prime Minister, promises were made. Canada is back. It is 2016 now. Promises were made to Indigenous nations to finally make things right between us. Promises were made to the world in Paris, and promises were made to us, the citizens. I am aware, Mr. Prime Minister, that as a politician you may well be worried about offending the powerful fossil fuel industry. Perhaps you are even considering approving one of the 2 pipelines, sort of like splitting the difference or compromising. But you've already compromised by agreeing with China that both countries will continue subsidies to the industry for 5 to 10 years more. And you seem to be seriously considering China's wish to buy and develop much of our tar sands. This is probably called investing in Canada. As long as you'll provide China with access to the BC coast for this filthy, toxic bitumen. And now is not the time for politics, but statesmanship, which used to be a liberal value, I think. I won't comment much on the NEB, as it has been thoroughly discredited by its own actions, except to say that without the environmental protection laws that Harper trashed, there's no actual legal mechanism by which the NEB could even consider the environmental and climate consequences of the pipelines. They just decide about how and where and how long and how far, not whether they should be built or not. I haven't read everything on the NEB website, but I went to it and it's basically technical stuff. And even when they talk about safety plans, they create a safety plan, but they can't guarantee that the safety plan is going to work. And finally, I've given some thought to the personal dilemma you may be experiencing these days, Mr. Trudeau. Perhaps you worry that unless you approve a pipeline for the industry, they will make a pariah out of you, causing you to lose the next election. But then what will be your legacy if you do approve a pipeline or 2, and we move even more rapidly into climate chaos? How is history going to treat you and your broken promises? The young people of the millennial generation who have spoken so eloquently here, that will have to live with those consequences, and those generations not yet born? What are your children going to say in the future to you? What are their friends going to say? You, Mr. Prime Minister, sit on a cusp in history. Not many have the opportunity to really make a difference, especially globally. You do. Maybe you didn't ask for it, but you did want the job, and you did make all those promises. Now you have the responsibility. We'll have your back, or we won't. Your decision. Humankind cannot afford any more pipelines at all. The industry has made their profits, and they have lied to all of us for decades. They have caused this. Now we deserve a chance at survival and justice. Keep it in the ground. No more pipelines. Regards, Ruth Pickering, retired physician, mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, citizen, and proud defender of the planet.